returns on investment there are so huge. And then if I got to give you practical, I swear if people don't listen to multiple podcasts, I say at least every third podcast of mine, these are free podcasts. Like your podcast is free. Yeah. You're interviewing people all over the world, and the information is being given to them free. So you talk about an investment. So those are my answers.
Sure, which is great. You studied literature and communications in undergrad. Do you ever regret going to school to study literature?
I think if you as a teacher admit that you regret studying literature, there's like an old school teacher who like slaps you with a ruler, right? You can't admit that. But the one thing I will say, in another life, I think I would have liked to study economics, because when I was going to school, I thought economics was the study of money, and we do supply and demand for 6 months and then call it a course. But as you read more and you do something approachable like Freakonomics, or you do some Adam Smith stuff, you realize that it's really the study of incentives. So I often go back to, I think it was Bob Sutton who talked about this Stanford study where his graduate students had to figure out how to get more people on campus to use a bike helmet. And when he told me that was an economics project, I was like the emoji with the hard eyes. Like, I can't believe. Like, that is such a beautiful assignment. It hits me right in the brain where I want it to, right? It's like figure out how to motivate someone to do something that would be good for them, even though they don't want to. Like, so in another life, I would have studied econ, and then I still would have been having to talk and teach, because those are things that help me learn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know exactly what you mean. I spend a lot of time listening to the Freakonomics guys and reading random economics books, because I love the way good economists approach problems.
Yeah. And there's go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, the ones who are really smart about it, like it's a different angle that I was like, wow, I never would have thought of that. And it's like part scientific rigor and then also part influence, and it's a beautiful when it comes together right.
Yeah, it's no doubt. And you get like Cialdini's influence mixed with the Freakonomics guys, and we could just sit there and drink iced tea all day listening to that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love it. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. And it's really easy then to apply it into other circumstances and situations in your life. And it's a beautiful thing. What would you say has been the best advice you've ever received?
Wow. One thing I do tell you is that I take advice from everyone, right? I mean, and even to a fault at times in my life, right? You get people in your life that really don't have business giving you advice. But you take it and you consider it and you filter it, and then you start to trust people and you get a network. But it's impossible for me to single it down, but I will, because you asked a great question. I'm going to say this, and I don't know who gave it to me. It's something I picked up along the way. You can have anything you want in life, but you can't have everything. You can have anything you want in life, but you can't have everything. And when you hear it, you're like, it's like a roller coaster. You're like, no, I can't. What? Oh, my goodness. Wait a minute. Let me think about this for a second. Yeah. And what it's meant to me over the years is, if you choose and you walk in that direction, you simply don't know what you're capable of achieving. Now, you can't say, I want to be on TV, and I also want to have a best-selling book, and I also want to marry a supermodel, and I also want to be a bachelor. You can't do I want to go to Vegas once a month. It's ridiculous. You can't do it all. But you can do one of them, and you can pick the one that's most important to you, and you have your values line up with your habits, and all of a sudden, to say you're 1% better is an understatement, because whoever told me that or wherever I read that, that's advice that really moves the needle. You can have anything you want in life. You just can't have everything.
Yeah, no, that's great. So, Joe, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really appreciate it. If the listeners would like to, listen and subscribe to your podcast, and also to find your work and more about what you're working on, where can they do that?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Your time is valuable, and your listeners' time is valuable, so it means the world to me. I don't take it lightly. My website is 1%betterproject.com. I stole the word project from Seth, and I just love kind of working on different types of projects. It's all words, 1%betterproject.com. And you can find the podcast everywhere podcasts are free, but I would love any of your listeners to listen to any of the podcasts and see if they like it. I am not a guy that believes in start at podcast 1, listen all 43. No, pick and choose. I talk to writers, I talk to actors, I talk to economists. Pick one that strikes your fancy. Give it a listen. If it's not for you, no hard feelings. But it would mean the world to me if someone listened to one podcast and sent me a quick note about what they liked about it. That would be everything.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I will make sure that the links to those are in the show notes so they can click right through.
Yuri, it's been an honor, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. Have a good day. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Advance Your Art podcast. If you like this episode, please go into iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button so that every single time I release a new episode, it will go directly to you without even thinking about it. If you're interested in hearing older episodes, please go to advanceyourart.com where you can find the catalog of everything I've done so far, as well as contact information and projects I'm working on. Thank you again, and have a great day.